Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to go through my journal ecosystem. I feel like this is quite popular. I didn't really collect all of these with the intention of like having a journal ecosystem, but I've seen a lot of these videos and I really like watching them, so I thought I might as well make my own because I think I have a sort of different thing going on compared to what I'm usually seeing. I will also just say I am sick and I have been having a lot of asthma attacks, which means not only is my voice gone, but I also sound very nasally, so we've got a kind of interesting thing going on. I've tried to use the mics. They were not working. I've also moved. I kind of like this setup. For anyone who's been on my journey of coming back, I'm enjoying it. We're like in the corner of my room. I have my ring light set up, like with the light on. 2021 is so back. I don't think you understand. But we'll see how this like kind of thing goes. I'm like sitting in a little chair. I've got my little water bottle. So this is fun. I haven't done a sit down video in probably 3 or 4 years, so this will be a lot of fun, but I used to do them a lot, so it's like I'm very nostalgic right now. So we might as well get into it. I will say that I know there's a lot of like going analog and like my analog trying to get off the phone routine and all that stuff. This is not this video. If this is what you're looking for, this isn't it. I am a very digital person. I feel like we all kind of are. There's kind of no way to like fully get off your phone, but this is not a replacement system, and I do use a lot of online stuff to organize and journal and all that kind of stuff. Big Notion fan. Really, really big Notion fan. If you've been here for a very long time, you'll know. By Notion is the keeper of a lot of smaller things that probably don't need a full journal or things that I want to type as opposed to writing, because I am someone who doesn't love handwritten everything. I don't know, maybe the HSC like traumatized me or something, but I kind of like don't enjoy writing for long periods of time unless it's something that I'm like really thinking about. I'm not writing essays or anything like that. I also don't journal daily. That's just not something I've tried. It's not really for me. But anyway, we'll get into that when I go through all of my systems. Here they all are in all of their glory. Yes, they are 5 separate journals. I'm looking into getting maybe like the folio is quite popular right now, but I can't tell whether I want a folio because everyone else has a folio and it looks cute, or it's something I'm actually going to use. I can see the benefit, like it protects your books and things like that, but as you can tell, a lot of them are hardcover, so it's kind of irrelevant right now. And they do like take up a lot of room. They do sit on my desk and then I'll just put them in my bag depending on what I need that day. But these are my 5 little chunky journals that are currently in my ecosystem. Let's just splay them out so they look cute. Can you tell what my favorite colors are? I don't think you'll ever be able to guess. So yeah, let's just go through. They're kind of in color order. Hey, I didn't plan on that. This is just the order I wanted to talk about them in. But just like imagine me holding up like a little book and then having the charms are really getting to me and like having it all in one place. So a folio is something that I might consider in future, like a nice like leather one. Because I feel like, especially with the way I work these journals, I'm not giving up journaling anytime soon. It's more if I need the extra element to it all, but we'll see. I figured I'd start off with my like supplies first. I don't know, I haven't seen this in many videos, but I thought I'd go through it. So I have this pencil case. It's from Estala Luna. I love Estala Luna bags so much. I think I have like 4 or 5 of them. I got most of them in a sale. So I really wanted one for my makeup, and then I ended up picking up a bunch more. But this one serves as my pencil case. It's just this like blueprint with flowers on it. I think it's very cute and it matches a lot of my other things. But in terms of what I use, all my journaling supplies just kind of live in here. I mainly keep the pencil case to write in my journals. I don't really write in anything else. And that was kind of the case throughout the whole of uni. So like just off the top of my head, I wouldn't say I'm a stationery addict, but I think I like stuff. You know, back to school shopping was my favorite bit of the season, so now I don't do that anymore. So I think the main things I use are these pens. They're the Papermate Inkjoy gel pens. They're my favorites. I've actually lost my black one. It's actually in Singapore somewhere. I know I left it by the pool and I just never picked it back up. This is gonna be an absolutely painful video to get through with the amount of cutting I'm gonna have to do around my coffee. If I look like I'm crying, it's because that's why. And then the highlighters I'm currently using are like the Daiso knockoff of the Zebra mild liners. I have them in this, was like a pack with all of my favorite colors in it, which is kind of great, but it's just kind of like the primary colors. And then like I think there's a green as well and a gray. So it's just kind of all the ones I really love, which is good. I use those. And in terms of black pens, I mean, I used to love my gel one as well, but I also use these for like general just writing and things, but we'll get into that. And then I also am a big fan of both like sticky notes. I don't know, these are from Officeworks a very, very long time ago, but I bought like 3 packs of them. I like the lined ones because I can't write in a straight line for my life. And then I also have these little sticky tabs as well for my one journal. And then I kind of just have like basic other things like scissors and a ruler just in case. I actually find the scissors more useful for things non-journal related, like cutting tags off of things and stuff like that. And I mean, obviously a ruler's there for drawing straight lines, but that's kind of all I use. I use a couple stickers. Not really. I'm not too big into putting stickers on pages. I just don't know if I found the right stickers yet. I'm looking into like a nice hardcover sticker book. I saw one in one of the videos and I was like, you know what? Maybe that would be a good idea. But I'm a big like saving my stickers person, which I know never ends up working. But like I often don't use stickers. But maybe if I buy a specific book, I don't know. I'm not convinced they hold the most value to me in the way I journal. Anyway, so let's get into the actual books. Starting off with my most used and most important one is my planner, obviously for 2026. It's actually from Kikki K, which is a rare one for me because I'm not the biggest like Kikki K snob by any means. I also didn't plan on getting this one. I left it very late and I went to go buy my planner on January 1st. I went into the city. Last year I used the Muji one. It was just like a B5 one that came with a plastic cover and it had like time slots, which I didn't use for time slots, but I like that they were skinny little columns. I'm very particular about the layout of my planner. And I really like that one. It's the best one I've ever used. So I was like, okay, I'll get it again for this year. So I went to Muji and they were sold out and they were not planning on restocking, which was a bit of a bummer. So then I had to scramble around trying to find things. Mind you, it's January 1st, so like 50% of the shops are open. So like Milligram, Demix both weren't open. But Kikki K was, and they were having a sale on all planners because it was January 1st, which I feel like buying a planner on January 1st isn't that late at all. So I got this one for a good sale because I do find Kikki K to sometimes be a bit overpriced, especially when I'm not looking for like the prettiest journal. So anyway, but I like this one. I'm really liking this like olivey green color at the moment. So it was kind of just calling my name. And I like that it's soft and flimsy because hypothetically thinking if I do get a folio, you can't have like a hardcover book as much. And I have had hardcover journals in the past, but I just find them a little annoying. I had one that was the same as the next two that I'm going to show you. And they are a bit bulkier and I don't particularly need them. So this is my daily, weekly, monthly planner. I will say I use an online calendar. So I'm a big Apple Calendar girl. So I do not use the calendar in this for its intended purpose, but we'll go through and I'll show you. That's what the weekly layout is. So it is, again, just like little boxes that I can put, because I don't use times either. It just kind of, it's fine for me. I do enjoy having them longer rather than wide. I don't know, just personal preference. And then it comes with a to-do list, which I'm actually really liking for just weekly to-dos because that's something that my old planner didn't have. But yeah, I'll show you a page that I've actually filled in as well. Where did I look really busy? So as you can see, I do a lot of colors and a lot of different things and there's a lot going on. So we'll go through it. I color code depending on what type of activity I'm putting in. So like for me, orange is work. So anything that is like, you'll see dance related is usually an orange. Things like making up my dances, sending in invoices, things like that. Yellow for me is any event. So if I have an event, like I accidentally put in that I had a party on the day, which I didn't, it's next month. But like if I have work at a certain time or I have a meeting or I have a party or something to go to, it's usually, or an appointment, it will be in yellow. So I know those are the things I have to go to at a certain time on that day. Currently in this bit, it was blue for any of the random tasks. So that would be like washing my bedding or like, I don't know, getting groceries or like menial tasks that don't go into a work thing that I needed to get done, like painting my nails. They'll go in blue or black because I didn't have a black pen at this point. Red is anything social media, so YouTube or posting on Instagram or TikTok or doing things for those, they go in red. I know my colors. They go in red for my personal stuff, but then I don't think I had anything here, or maybe it's because I hadn't started, but for my business, they are blue, which I've matched to the fact that my business is blue, so. Also, apparently I wasn't doing any of this. Anything that's related to me and my personal projects. So not my personal YouTube or my business, like when I'm writing scripts or I'm doing so they technically work. Oh my God. Yeah, you know what? I'll fix that later. How on earth did that fall over? Anyway, any of those are in teal. So that's kind of what happens. And then I cross them out. And if I haven't done them by the end of the week, I will highlight them and they'll go into next week. And then at the beginning of the week also, I'll write down anything that needs to be done so then I can fill it in on any of the other days. There are a couple like lined pages at the back as well. There's probably like 3 or 4 pieces of lined paper at the back. And then the only other thing that's in this is their like monthly spread, which obviously we've all seen a calendar, and then it's got to-dos on the side. But I do mine a little differently. So let's do it for... The only month I've like properly filled out is February. On the calendar, I make it for my content. I was doing an online content calendar, but it wasn't working as well for me because I wasn't checking it as much. Whereas having it in this book is working really well. And then I also put my goal setting on the side here, which is something in my last book I really slacked with the goal setting because there wasn't a spot for it. I mean, technically there's not a spot for it here. I've just made one. In my previous diary, there was like a space for goal setting, and I tried to do it on Notion and it didn't work. So I don't know. I'm kind of figuring out what I need to do physically and what I need to do digitally are very different. And this year I'm making a conscious effort to like do what I need to do where I need to do it. Actually on the struggle bus right now, I don't think you understand. I've taken the day off and I was like, you know what? I need to be productive, which is not good. When you're sick, I feel like you should be in bed, but I didn't realize so much talking would send me off the edge. Thank God I took off work. Because I'm like fine, like I can do things. It's not up here that's wrong. But because I work a physical job, I cannot talk, dance at the same time. All I end up doing is coughing. So whenever I have asthma attacks like this, I just have to take off work. We'll see if I'm better by tomorrow, but honestly, I'm not very convinced. So same rules apply. Anything in red is for YouTube. So obviously I upload all my YouTube videos on a Sunday. So I know what's coming up so I can film it the rest of the week. And then these are for my business. I try to upload 3 times a week. I'm actually going to move these to next month because I think that I bit off way too much more than I could chew, and that's fine. And then on the side, what I've done is my goal setting. So I set 4 goals for every month. They're just little kind of like things I want to improve on. So this month I've decided to improve on my dance teaching, my media consistency, my productivity, and my positive mindset. And so then I just put 3 little, I think, is it Angie Belma? I don't know. Someone has a goal setting system that works similarly that I've adapted a little. But she puts needle movers in. And so those are 3 things that I need to be thinking about in order to make the big goal work. So just like smaller, more achievable things rather than going in with the, oh, I need to be consistent. It's what can I do to be consistent? So I had planning ahead and making a schedule, setting achievable goals, and then no distractions as well. So like there's smaller things that I can actually work on to make the big goal. And I will say it is working quite well this month. Here we are right now, my journal setup video, which is what we're doing here is today. And yeah, I just fill those out month by month. We're currently only halfway through the month, so I haven't really done next month. So far, this is a really good system and it's working well. And I kind of bring this with me everywhere. All in all, solid. I actually enjoy this planner a lot more than I thought. So that's always good. And that alongside my Google Calendar is everything I use for like daily planning. So that's the end of that one. Next, we're going to move into the stuff that I use for work. So starting off, first one is my dance diary. That sounds so awful. In high school, they used to make us have like dance journals or dance diaries where we'd have to write like down the exercises and all that stuff. This isn't that. Sorry to any ballerina that I just triggered by saying that. You'd like to have to write down your corrections and things. It was like fun. Anyway, so essentially I started a journal for my dance teaching in terms of lesson plans and stuff like that because I was doing them on my laptop and that was working well, but then I'd be on my phone or my laptop for like a good chunk of class. And although that's fine and like the world's changing and so obviously like in order to access my music I have to be online, it just did feel a little bit like I was going on my phone at work. And like I'm not getting distracted or anything, like there's a bunch of 8-year-olds screaming at me, but it just felt like I was being tardy. So I was like, you know what, if I just write everything down on this instead, I feel like whipping out a little notebook just feels less like I'm doing something wrong, although I wasn't doing anything wrong, it just felt like it. And that way I have like a consistent plan as to what to do, because obviously you do have to do a little bit of prep work. Combos and stuff I know in my head, but like what exercises we're doing on a certain day and things like that. Especially because I now teach so many classes I like don't even know. Let's find an example. This is from last year, but it looks like a good one. So like these are I'd like do my week and then I do what exercises I wanted to do for each class. And then I just set it up by my water bottle. And so for like, let's do junior contemporary, I wanted to choose a stretch as my little circle time icebreaker. And then I wanted to do bum rolls. And then I'd like think about if I need any notes, like, oh, we need to go to Mermaid today. That's what I was putting in there. And then I wanted to do back rolls. Oh, we obviously had a fun lesson doing all the roles. Love that. And then like if there's specific songs I want to use, like I did Forever and Always last year. And then I did a floor section of a combo, which was exciting. So yeah, it just gives me something. Like obviously I know it in my head, but it just gives me a little place to have it all. The other thing that I will also do in here is if I have to write out rules or anything, like sometimes I give them like time to improv and like make up their own dances, but I'll set rules because otherwise it'll just be like cartwheels the entire time. I'll put that in there too because I just think that's fun. And it gives them something to look at. They'll like come up to the book and check what they can and can't do without them having to like come check my laptop. And then the other thing that I do in here is I will plot out my dances. So when it gets time to like, when it comes to dances for the end of the year, I'll prep my positions and like the bits of the dance. And then I'll like section them out by weeks anyway. So this was obviously plotting my, where my kids were going. I only had 4 in this dance, so it was a lot easier. And then I know what section each shape is. And then that way I'm not ending up with like the same triangle to line to triangle to line every single time. I took this off of, there's an app obviously where you can do all of this, but I'm not paying for that. And I think I can just think of it myself. So I put them in here so I know what's going on. And then what section it is. So like obviously this was for the opening, and then there was the leap section where they like all go that way, and then rolls and whatnot. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of all I keep in there. There's like, I had a page in here at one point of like combo ideas, but I do also have a dance page on Notion where I keep like all the videos of the adults combos that we've done and all that kind of stuff. So I have a backlog of all of that. This journal's from Typo as well. So was the next one. And yeah, this one's really old. You can tell because it's got like the old font of Typo. It used to be for something else and I just ripped out the first like 3 pages because I obviously wasn't using it too much. This is one of the hardcover ones that like I kind of don't love, but I think especially when I'm working all the time, like with kids and stuff, it is kind of nice to have a durable one. And if I was to have the folio in my mind, I wouldn't put my workbook in there because I need to whip it out like away from the rest of them so often. Next book is also a Typo hardcover book. This is definitely my most battered and bruised of the books because it goes the most places with, that's such a lie. I guess it goes less places than, ow. I'm so lucky that that's plastic. Oh my God. That hurt. There must be some like, who's out to get me? Like that was crazy. I'm actually not even touching it. Like I clear it. Ow, that really hurt. Anyway, I'm like scared for my life. There's nothing else up there. Everything else has fallen down. That was scary as. Anyway, this is also a Typo book, obviously newer. This goes with me the most places. I suppose the planner goes more places with me, but this one has been with me for a longer time. So this is my book for projects, planning, like work, not in dance teaching work, like film work and what used to be uni projects as well. So she is well loved and I definitely have the most to talk about with this one. I actually bought the Barbie book because I didn't really use a notebook for uni in terms of like uni work. There was no point to it. I didn't buy one at the beginning of the year because I knew, but when it was planning projects, I was like, oh, I'd kind of prefer to do this physically rather than digitally. So I bought one around the time that the Barbie movie came out. And at the time, I had this one professor or lecturer. I don't know if he was a professor, but I had a lecturer who was I'm not going to like say misogynistic, but definitely like I was getting picked on more than any of the men who were doing the same thing as me. And so I was going through it. I was not having a good time. I mean, obviously I'm from Newtown. That didn't really happen in high school. So when I got to uni, it was like, oh, this is new. This is different. And I'm not happy. And I protested by buying myself a Barbie movie book. Obviously the blue one, because I like the color blue. And it does have pink on it. If anyone's been on my I Hate Pink journey, it does have a little bit of pink, but that's okay. The corners are like battered and bruised. That's the other thing I don't like about these hardcover books is they're made of like a fake leather and so they like rip off, which is not fun, but it's a true testament to how much she gets used. So in the front, actually, and I think this is very cute, is I have a key, which is kind of irrelevant now. I should probably update it, but then I also have every single like project that I've made in this book. Once it's like happening, I will draw a little icon for it. So like these are some of the projects that I've made. Obviously I do a lot of YouTube planning in here as well. I forgot to mention that. But like the 2 films that I made last year in here, and like my business that I planned in here as well. So it's just all kind of like the digital stuff, I guess, goes in this book. And then the key is for these little tabs up here, which I started doing maybe last year, which I should probably update because I've done a lot more work in this book since, of what every page is, because it's just kind of all over the place. Like one page will be about YouTube, the next page will be about my business, and then it's this project, and then this project, and then that uni project, and then it's just all over the place. So in order to find what I'm trying to look for when I'm going back to reference, I thought that would be a better idea. But I haven't updated it in a while, so it's okay. Maybe I should get onto that afterwards. But that's what the flags are for. They're for this book. God, I actually haven't looked through the beginning of this book in a very long time. So like I used to do my uni projects in here and I planned them out. So this was for my photography class and like some ideas that I had for my final project, which I actually don't think I did any of these. I did this one actually, and I just like drew them out. I'm a very like visual person, so I need to like look at things. Oh, I didn't end up doing that one either. Or like I've got like mind maps and things in here from the early days. I actually ended up doing this one. That was like a immersive media thing where I put a projection, and then you would stand in front of it and you do the tasks on the projection, and it was about like women's safety and things like that. Anyway, I got a really good mark for that one, I will say. That was a lot of fun, actually. I should probably do smart things like that again. But things like a short film that I planned out that ended up turning into a script that I ended up writing at uni. Like random little things like that. If it's about a project, it'll go in here, or like storylines and things like that. But I have a really hard time trying to like plan these things out digitally first. I need to like write them down and scribble and be okay. I mean, mind you, it's not scribbles. Everything is on a line. I have a serious problem with like neatness in my notebooks. So like every single time I've tried to come back to YouTube, I've made a plan. And that has shown up many times. Anyway, that's so funny. That's me writing, I can't show that. That's me creating a movie about things that happened in my life. And then I have like an ideas list, which I'm also not going to show because some of these will probably end up becoming things that I'll make. Well, I also used to do free writing in my one script writing class at uni. Oh, I'm talking about my cat. Anyway, very interesting. We used to do free writing in class, and I do all my free writing in here, so these are all in here as well, which is very interesting. I'm obviously in that part of the book. I made a storyboard in here. Like I was going for it all. Look at that. We're still in like second year. I'll show this. I had an idea for a movie that I came up with. I have a little notebook that I keep in my purse. My handbag is like too small to fit any of these books. So I keep that in there. And if I have something that I stuck it in and then write things about it. I had an idea for a movie, which I might still use because I quite enjoy that. Anyway. And then also like the use of the little post-it notes and things. These ones too, I make storyboards for not storyboards, what's the word? I make mood boards for my films. So the last short film I made, not for uni, Sea Changed, which actually hasn't seen the light of day on this app, but I want to send it through the film circuit, so maybe it won't. I would write things in here and then take photos and upload it there because there's just something about writing it down. It like flows through my brain more. I don't understand, but it's okay. Another social plan, like there's just so much stuff in here. Marketplace, the last one that I did, like I did a mind map, and then I did characters that I liked and all sorts of things, and like just really everything. Oh, now we're obviously in third year because these are getting like succinct plans of how much work I need to do every day. That's very funny. I'll also do notes, like in my final edits, I'll write down my notes on here because rather than typing them down, it feels good to like cross them off. So I needed to like fix I'll go through, watch it, and write down notes of everything I need to fix. Because sometimes that can get a little like anally retentive and I stop realizing what I need to do. Oh, and here's a plan for this YouTube video, which I probably won't stick to because I got sick this week. But yeah, that's kind of fun. So really anything goes in this one. But she's like my little pride and joy. This is one I'd consider getting a soft book and putting it in because it's just, I feel like per year might be a little bit better than holding this large thing around that it's fun, but it's got 4 years of my life in it, and the things that I'm writing at the beginning have nothing to do with anything I'm doing right now. Once this one gets filled up, maybe I'll move on. Then this book, we probably won't go into too much. This is my like dump journal. I've been seeing people call this a brain dump. This is the closest thing I have to a regular journal that you'd associate the word journal with. This is where, if I'm not someone who daily journals, but if I really need to, there will be a journal entry in here. So we're obviously not going to go through those. That's like reading my diary. But some other things I do in here is I set my goals. Like here are my 2025 goals. which I then put into a vision board. I might make a video on that at the end of this year because that thing works really well. But I'll put my goals, I'll put my manifestations go in this journal. I have a page on the crystals that I have. That's really fun. I didn't know I put that in there. But yeah, this tends to focus on more like spirituality, feelings, emotions, goals. I have my notes from my palm reading I got in here too. That's fun. I love it. That's really fun. Yeah. And then this year has just been a lot of planning so far. This journal actually started off as a notebook for something different and I can't remember what it was. But I actually just printed out a bunch of pictures and stuck them on here years ago. Kind of glad I chose these pictures because they still stand. I actually took that one. I thought that was very aesthetic on me. But yeah, and then I Mod Podge them on. Anyway, I stuck them on and they all went a little bit blue, but I kind of enjoy that. So yeah, it's a spiral notebook, which is interesting. I'm not the biggest fan. I like it because I can flip it around. But this would also be one that I wouldn't put with the rest of my, because there's nothing I would want more than to open that up and then all my deepest, darkest secrets be out there. So I've literally just given you exactly how to learn about my deepest, darkest secrets in here. But that's okay. Sometimes it is good to journal to like write things out and like process, but that's not often how I process things, but sometimes it's what's best for me. So that's kind of the end of that. That's my journal. And then the newest one in my collection, and the one I'm probably the most excited about, is this new Muji journal that I bought. They did have it in stock. It's actually a flat lay one, so like it lays completely flat, which I find interesting. Did buy this with the intention of maybe one day sticking it into a folio. I think from how much I've said it, I really want a folio in this. This is my film journal, not to be confused with the one where I write about my own films. This is the one where I write about other films. Rather than like getting a Letterboxd account or something like that, I want to turn this into like a learning journal almost. I mean, I'm finished uni now, so I like have a degree in it, but there's obviously more to learn. And I also don't watch movies. For someone with a film degree, you'd think I'd watch movies, but I really like, my attention span is just not up to par, and I really don't like a lot of movies. Like when you see the stuff I write, you're like, oh, okay, it'll make more sense. But I don't tend to like be into these like really deep, dark, meaningful, artsy films. I mean, they're good and I can appreciate them for what they're good for, and so I write about them, but there's very few films that I like. If it's a cinema classic, I'm probably not gonna enjoy it, but I will maintain watching it if I need to write notes about it later. So I have only done it for one. I actually quite enjoyed this film. I watched Anora. It was funny enough that I enjoyed it. So I just have my initial thoughts on there, and then I'll go through and write like a proper thing. And then I also want to do, like, currently I'm thinking about color theory. I use a lot of color theory in my own work. So maybe I'll do some like research on color theory and write that in there. So she is brand new. She was bought this month. So I haven't really filled her up. But I wrote a little letter to myself at the front, just with like my intentions for the journal and things like that. But I'm very excited because it'll force me to fill up the book, and I want to like really think about like doing things. That's really, wow, what a description. But I want to think about actually, making the effort, watching movies and like going places. Like I'm going to go to a film festival this weekend, so I'm probably going to write about it in here afterwards. I was considering like sticking photos in here, but I probably won't do that until I have enough to fill up a whole page, because that's really wasteful having to print out 200 photos separately when I can just print them all out on different pieces on the one piece of paper. Anyway, this one you probably can't tell, but it is grid lined as well, like very faintly. It's grid, but it's still, which is something that I was looking forward to, because there's nothing I miss more than the neatness of my maths books because of the grid paper. I'm very excited. I don't know what to do on the front. I'm kind of considering getting like, again, sticker book, huge sticker. Think about it. But I did decorate the front with just like a typewriter and some stickers, but I want more to like decorate the entire 2 pages. This is a cutout from a magazine that, like the Uni's magazine. Not that I go to uni anymore, but I collected a couple of the uni magazines. So I could cut out some of the photos. And then these are 2 stickers that I bought last year. Like they come in a washi sticker pack, which was interesting. Which I might go through and collect which stickers I like and don't like, and maybe give the rest away. But yeah, so with that, that is my final journal. And that is my entire journal ecosystem. It's probably not as aesthetic as like the other ones you're seeing, but it really works well for me, and they're all so different that but they all serve a purpose, and I'm really happy with the kind of collection that I've got. If I end up caving and buying a folio, I will let you know. But for now, this is really working well, and I'm quite happy with what's going on in there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and putting up with my croaky voice. But I'm going to be quiet, sip some water, and sit down. And not that I'm not sitting down. I shall see you all next week. Bye! Don't make the sound. Bye!